things that make Zelda games so beloved are the iconic items we see again and again throughout the series. The hookshot, the bow, the eyeball frog. Okay, some of them didn't make the cut of a sequel appearance, but nonetheless, they were there. And I'd be lying if I said that Ocarina of Time's item select screen in particular wasn't burned into my mind with the amount of time that I've gazed upon its glory. All of these items proved invaluable to Link, but I want to know, as I frequently do on this channel, how useful they would be to me in real life. By the way, this video was made because 4.7 thousand of you managed to tie up a poll of whether you would rather see a Zelda or a Pokemon video. And while I would normally hate this, I can't help but be impressed. In this day and age where we're more divided than ever, who am I to discourage teamwork to achieve division? Hold on. The point is, you're getting a Zelda video now and a Pokemon video later, you absolute wild ones. Also, real quick aside, I just wanted to thank y'all so much for your incredibly kind comments on the last video. I always get a bit self-conscious when I'm writing these. Like, I was so sure that people were gonna be mad that I went on a 6-minute tangent about altitudes or that I laid down so many rules at the top, and to get such receptive comments about it all, it really warmed my heart. Y'all's comments made me re-love those parts of myself, so thank you, I really appreciate it. But speaking of rules up top, we gotta outline how this video's gonna work. We're gonna be assuming that these items serve the purpose that they do in the game, but it's as if someone offered them to me in my day-to-day life. And just me, it's not like these are suddenly integrated into society. So I'm determining their usefulness on how they would fit into my everyday life. And we only get offered one of each thing. The items will be judged based only on how they're used in Zelda Ocarina of Time. If they have a different or additional use in a different game, great, I'm not considering it. And there are really only a couple changes that I'm gonna make from the game to make this video more fun for me. One, the items that you can only use as a child in the games are gonna be free game for me to use too, and two, I obviously don't have a magic meter and a bunch of these items use magic, so I'm just gonna sort of change magic to stamina. How will I be able to play in the space with these items too? Aside from that, everything's pretty straightforward. Our categories for today are extremely useful, useful under extremely specific circumstances, I guess I'll hold on to it, I don't really need this, and please keep this away from me. I switched the order of the colors from the regular tier maker format because this makes way more sense to me. Please keep this away from me being green? Doesn't seem right. Don't like it. So let's start at the top with the Deku Stick. This is a stick. We have those. Big one, big stick, but stick. In the game, you can hit things with it and it'll break, like Big Stick. And you can light it on fire to make a torch that will last for a little while before burning to ashes. Like Big Stick, kind of, but real world Big Stick wouldn't work nearly as well since there's not enough fuel to maintain a steady flame for a long period of time. That's why any DIY torch instructions have tying a cloth to the end of the stick and adding some sort of additional fuel. Without it, it'll just burn through the wood and go out relatively quickly. So if a Deku Stick has some sort of property that makes it hold a flame longer than real life Big Stick, it could be a good torch. But I don't need a torch. I have lights. And Outdoors has some lights too. I don't need a torch. But there's one detail that turns this entire thing around. If a butterfly lands on the tip of a Deku Stick, it'll transform into a fairy. Did you know this? Now I'm conflicted. Fairies have the potential to restore life, and we'll get more into them a little later, but this is clearly valuable. However, am I going to spend the time and energy trying to get a butterfly to land on the end of a stick? And I'm not necessarily sure if I want to trick a living creature into giving up their life for me, but I might. For its potential morally gray fairy powers, it's going under useful under extremely specific circumstances. Moving on to the humble Deku Nut. When you throw a Deku Nut on the ground, it flashes super brightly and stuns enemies, and are used by Sheikah to create a distraction while they vanish. This is a flash bomb, but pocket-sized and thus definitely more travel-friendly. So while I would hope that I wouldn't need this, I could potentially see using it for self-defense while out and about. Like instead of having my pepper spray on me, I'd keep a little nut in my pocket. So do I need this? No, pepper spray is great, but I guess I'll hold on to it. Next, we have the bomb. This is a bomb. We have those, and I really don't want to be involved. As you may guess, Link uses bombs to both defeat enemies and explode things like rocks and walls and whatnot. As far as self-defense goes, I'm good with the Deku Nuts. I'm not looking to explode a person. And considering I'm pretty content with my lifestyle and have no desire to work in the mines or anything like that, I'm just gonna be safe and say, please keep this away from me. No, you can't even store it here. I don't want, you know. Up next is the fairy bow, and I would genuinely love a bow. I'm actually super into archery. I did some archery in middle school, and I've dabbled here and there since then. I was genuinely thinking of taking archery back up recently. And we have archery ranges in LA that are bring your own bow. So, well, I don't need it as a weapon or hit switches or whatever. This would legitimately be extremely useful to me. Fire arrows, on the other hand, I could do without. You might use them in the game to light torches and burn spider webs, but I don't have many torches that need lighting, and the spiders in my room and I have worked out a deal regarding rent. I pay them half every month. So arrows that are on fire are honestly just a bit more dangerous than necessary, so these are going under I really don't need this. And we might as well take a look at the other types of arrows while we're at it. Ice arrows were notoriously pretty useless in Ocarina of Time. They could freeze a few enemies and items in the game, but at this point they couldn't even be used to create a frozen pathway on top of a body of water or anything. Once again, I just really don't need to put anything in a block of ice, so it's going on in the same category. Our last type of arrows in this game are the light arrows, and their main purpose is to dispel the barrier in Ganon's castle and to fight Ganondorf, which I wouldn't need to do in real life. Like the other arrows, you can use them to attack enemies, and while it doesn't do more damage than regular arrows, it makes certain enemies drop 50 rupees when they're killed with a light arrow. And not only do I still not have the desire to kill anyone, it's messed up that I'm being bribed to do so. Light arrows don't even seem like they really light up dark rooms. It just basks everything in a yellowy haze for a couple seconds. But even if it did light up a dark room, I once again have lights and am really not going anywhere where I'd be in the dark and the easiest way to see would be to shoot an arrow. We once again place this in, I really don't need this. Let's look at Din's Fire next, which uses magic, stamina in our case, to create a giant fire bubble around Link that then expands out in all directions. In the game, this can be used to light torches, damage enemies, and eliminate wooden obstacles, and in real life can be used to burn your house to the ground. Are you kidding? I need to light some candles. You think I'm whipping out this? I'm already being very generous by assuming that Link and therefore you are invulnerable to the fire due to some invisible goddess protection, but I can't think of a single instance in my life where engulfing everything around me in flame would have been a good idea. Unlike a bomb, it seems like it wouldn't be too dangerous to just have around, since it looks like you really gotta intentionally put some oomph into channeling its powers, so it's just gonna go under I really don't need this. The Fairy Slingshot is up next, and much like the bow, young Link uses this to hit enemies and shoot switches and whatnot, but also like the bow, could be used for non-nefarious purposes. Would it be super useful? No. If I want a slingshot, I could acquire a slingshot. They're not even that pricey. I've owned a slingshot before, and it got sold at a garage sale. But it'd be kind of cute to have for nostalgia's sake. Maybe toss a few of those little soft porcupine things around before I eventually got bored and stashed away forever. Yeah, I guess I'll hold on to it. Next up is the ocarina. Would an ocarina be useful? Yeah, I think so. We're gonna look at the Fairy Ocarina and the Ocarina of Time as one thing here, since they're both ocarinas. And yeah, considering I own a sweet potato ocarina, pretty dang useful. I can play Happy Birthday for people on their birthdays while they painfully watch me struggle through it and hit the wrong notes, and that's pretty cool. Huge question mark regarding the morality of using it for certain things though. Like, if the songs in the game actually do things in real life, then the ocarina holds a lot more power than just the Happy Birthday song. Let's take a look at the songs in the game. There's Zelda's Lullaby, which is used to solve various puzzles connected to the royal family of Hyrule, and since there isn't a royal family of Hyrule in the real world, this is pretty useless. Epona's song, which calls Epona and makes a cow produce milk if you play it next to one. Interesting. I did once milk a cow on a field trip to Pioneer Farms in elementary school, but I was lukewarm about the experience, and when I've been around cows since, I don't really want their milk, so I'm okay on that front. Then there's Saria's song, which can be used to communicate with Saria, who doesn't exist in real life. The Sun song, which allows you to change from day to night or night to day, and also freezes redeads temporarily, but that's not the part we care about. The changing of time comes with such huge implications that I probably wouldn't touch it. Because if we're taking it as what happens in the game, your body would just be in whatever position you played the song in for X number of hours, and also the implications of what that might mean for the rest of humanity during that time, and how that relates back to the concept of free will kind of melts my brain too much, so I probably wouldn't play that. While the Song of Time sounds equally concerning, in Ocarina of Time it just opens the door of time and makes these stones of time disappear. The Song of Storm summons rain instantly, which is a pretty big deal and could maybe be used responsibly, but there would also likely be some repercussions for messing with nature's already balanced water cycle. I also just like sunny days. Then we have the Warping songs, which all probably wouldn't do anything considering the locations are fictional, except maybe the graveyard. I probably wouldn't use that one. And finally, unlisted, there's the Scarecrow song, which summons the Scarecrow Pier. That's okay. So most of the songs are pretty useless, but there are a couple that bring with them a pretty wild burden of responsibility. That's assuming they would work, because in the game, if you don't learn it from the official source, then when you play it, nothing happens. So I don't know how it would work in real life. But regardless of the potential moral pitfalls, the ocarina would be extremely useful. Now let's look at Bombchus. If you set a Bombchu down, it will start scurrying away, either running into something and exploding, or eventually exploding on its own with no interference. This is a bomb that you have even less control over than a regular bomb, so it's going under please keep this away from me. We're gonna do the same thing we did for the Ocarina and consider the Hookshot and Longshot together since they serve the same basic function. My gut initial reaction to which Zelda item I would most want in real life was the Hookshot. It's so much fun to use the Hookshot in Zelda games. I love it. But once I thought a little more about it, things fell apart pretty quickly. There have already been videos demonstrating that the force that the Hookshot exerts in the game would destroy your body in real life. But as a fun little thought experiment, let's pretend that it would be a little bit more gentle, like this grappling gun that Built IRL made. Look at him go. Fun, huh? Well, we still have to consider what its abilities actually are, because you can't hookshot onto just anything in the game. In general, Link can hookshot onto objects made of wood, certain enemies, and specific hookshot targets that don't exist in real life, because hookshots don't exist in real life. It can also pull some enemies to Link instead of pulling him towards them. Now, I'm not like surrounded by things made of wood that frequently in my day-to-day life. Like, it might be useful for trees, but that's about it, because we also have to look at the design of this thing to understand how it works. The hookshot doesn't work like a grappling hook, in that a grappling hook is aimed and fired so that the line will go past the target and the hook will hook around something sturdy. The hookshot and longshot rely on the sharp arrowhead-like bit at the end to pierce the material, and then it's barbed, also like an arrowhead, to prevent the point from dislodging out of the target as the user flies towards it. So I wouldn't be able to use this on any public or private property made of wood without damaging the wood, which I could totally get written up for. And I definitely couldn't use it on a living being. Oh, the hookshot stuns some enemies? Yeah, I bet it would! Doing your grocery shopping and get hookshot to the stomach because I'm trying to get to my Apple Jacks faster? And there's another reason this wouldn't be nearly as fun as it looks in the game, and that's gravity. There's a reason Built IRL was always firing his grappling gun upwards. While Link can hookshot a target directly across from him and fly horizontally towards it, if I did that, I'd be dragged along the ground towards my target. And if I aim higher up, then I have to be careful of how far I'm falling down once I get to the anchor point. As fun as it is soaring from point to point in the game, in real life, I really don't need this. Farore's Wind is a spell that Link can cast in a dungeon to set up a warp point that he can be teleported back to from anywhere else in the dungeon. Now, if this were a warp point that can be used anywhere, we'd really be talking. I could get back to my Apple Jacks instantly. But alas, it only works in dungeons. Specifically dungeons that have maps, which is kind of an odd distinction. I don't find myself in too many dungeons, as far as y'all know. And if I did end up in one, my belongings are almost certainly gonna be taken from me at the door. Which means I really don't need this. Alright, the Boomerang can be used to stun and kill enemies and can retrieve some hearts and rupees and whatnot from the ground. Though, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if that's a magical property it possesses or if we're meant to believe that Link is so skilled at using a boomerang that he's able to just hook these things in the boomerang's trajectory. Using the boomerang doesn't use that magic, so I'm gonna guess it's probably the second one. And if you think I'm gonna train with a boomerang for long enough to be able to pull things towards me instead of just walking over to grab them, you are sorely mistaken. Boomerangs are a real thing, and you don't see me training. Nonetheless, I love how this boomerang looks, and I think it'd make a pretty cool decorative piece, so I guess I'll hold on to it. The lens of truth is used to see invisible things or see the truth. Like you can see fake walls or floors or invisible treasure chests or enemies. So far, I haven't had too much of a problem with fake walls or floors, and as far as other invisible things go, can I be honest? I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Let's say there's a horrific monster right next to me right now that's invisible. You think I want to know? I'm team ignorance is bliss in this regard, and I don't even want to be tempted, so please keep this cursed item away from me. Now let's look at the magic bean. The magic bean grows into a giant leaf that can hold Link and tote him around in the sky to specific inaccessible areas. And it takes 7 years for that bean to turn into a plant. That is really playing the long game. There is no high inaccessible place that I want to go to so badly that I'm willing to wait 7 years. Where would that be? However, you can play the Song of Storms near a bean sprout and it'll produce some fairies. And once again, this is a significantly bigger deal than a large leaf. So for this reason, the magic bean would be useful under extremely specific circumstances. The Megaton Hammer can be used in combat, but it can also break big rocks instead of bombs and smash in rusted switches. No giant rocks or rusted switches that I can currently see, so for obvious reasons, I'm gonna say I really don't need this. Nayru's Love is a spell that creates a barrier around Link that prevents damage for 1 minute. Yeah, sign me up! Do you know how many times I've tripped and skinned my knee while running to the Apple Jacks aisle? Row of threes. This ability drains more magic than any other item in the game, so since we're translating magic to stamina, that would imply that we would get really tired when using it, but I think that's a fair trade-off for invulnerability for a minute. Nayru's Love would be extremely useful. Next up, there are 4 bottles throughout Ocarina of Time, and their usefulness depends on which number we're on. Bottle 1? Oh, thank you! This is a pretty big bottle. It'll make for a lovely vase though. Thank you so much. Extremely useful. Oh, you have another? Yeah, no, I got a cute little matching vase moment. No, thank you. Extremely useful. Oh, you have a third. Yeah, no, I mean, if you're gonna get rid of it, I'm sure I can figure out something, maybe store something in it, or yeah, I guess I'll hold on to it. Another bottle. Yeah, listen, I really don't need this. Okay, so now we're actually gonna jump ahead to the bottle fairy, and I'll explain why afterwards. Here we are again at the crux of the utility of many an item, the fairy. Fairies can restore health when purposefully used, great. But the real meat on the bone is that they have a one-time use of reviving Link when he's dead. Now, this could go real south real quick. It kind of depends on how you croak the first time. Because there are certain situations where I don't think I would want to come back after passing away. Like if a bus dropped on me and smooshed me to smithereens. I'm okay tapping out for that one. But if I catch a stray bullet from a bank robbery, I might like a take two. While death isn't always a bad thing, I think we gotta say that a second chance at life would be extremely useful. At the very least, the health recovery thing would be extremely useful. So there you go. So believe it or not, I've just realized that this video will need to be 2 parts. We may have covered all the core items, but there are still 35 amazing more items to go. We've got all the bottled items, all the masks, and a ton of other nifty stuff, including the elusive eye frog. But you won't have to wait that long. For the first time in Goombanna history, you will see me back here in a week in the same outfit. How embarrassing. Looking at the second half of all of these buttes. Until then, let me know in the comments which of the items we covered today would be most useful to you. You can have a top 3, I'll allow it. And folks, we are so close to 40K, so please double check that you're subscribed, and if you're not, why not? It's free. And don't forget to use my Raid Shadow Legends link in the description or scan my QR code to get wild bonuses for new players with 2 epic champions. I'm gonna go, well, take a quick breather and record part 2, I guess. But I'll see y'all for that one. Bye!
Goombanna is the one to watch, she didn't come to play. Gaming vids that'll make you laugh and think and put them on replay. Intelligent, kind of funny, her community's #1. Stick around and kick your feet up. Goombanna has just begun.